Well, guys, we are back in the BMW. What is going on, guys? Adam again, back with Atomic Garage, and yes, sir, we are inside of the BMW. And what I wanted to do was to really get to drive this car with you guys and just talk about the plans for said car. And just to let you know what's going on and rattling around inside of my mind. So while I'm cruising down these back roads, I'm still getting a feel for what I like about the car and what I don't like about the car. And there's a few things that I like. There's a lot of things that I like, and there's a couple things that I don't like. What I don't like is the car is a tad underpowered. Let's call it what it is. It is a 4-cylinder M42, so she's kind of lacking in the guts department. And also, there's a lot of maintenance that needs to be done on this car. One thing that I will do is put in a short shifter into this car, because it's got, oh my God, it's probably the bearing down inside of the shifter. It's got a lot of play. I mean, a lot of play in it when it's in gear, which is not really a great thing, quite honestly. But the car runs really good. Ever since we did that valve cover gasket and spark plugs, I mean, it runs so much better. And that intake boot, I went on ahead and cut one of my fender covers and took some long cable ties and sealed that up, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, quite honestly, as far as it sucking in a whole lot of unmetered air. So I'm getting a sense for the car, and it runs pretty good so far. It's just not a whole lot there when you need it to. But I guess I can't complain too much because, you know, it is a 4-cylinder, and a 4-cylinder that was born in '95. So as far as maintenance goes and the things that we need to do to the car, maintenance wise, we need a lot of the basics really. We need to look at the brakes, take a look at the brakes. We need to get these tires balanced. Undoubtedly, this car sat for a very long time, and because it sat for a long time, it's probably got some flat spots. So it drives good up to about 45, 50, 55, and then after a certain bit, it will shake your dentures out if you have any. So that's something that's of major concern that needs to be looked at. Also, again, it's like the 15th time I've said it, that strut needs attention. And I want to put full coilovers on this car, but I'm not talking about nothing nice like BC, you know, racing coilovers or anything like that. I'm talking about like some old bare bones, nitty-gritty kind of eBay. That's basically what I'm going with. eBay coilover set that's fully adjustable. And it's probably, those things are probably terrible. They probably got like canola oil inside of it for shock dampening. But you know what? We're gonna rock with that. Kind of get this ride height a bit down. As I've said earlier, a short shifter would be good. Take up a lot of the slop and play from out of the shifter, so you can kind of really hit the gears with some kind of authority. Besides that, getting some more power to the engine, and as I originally said, a supercharger. And I still want to do the route of the supercharger. And the main reason why I'm thinking about going the route of the supercharger is for the simple fact that, quite honestly, it's going to be cheaper for me. I'm a numbers-based guy when it comes to this. It's cheaper. What do I mean by cheaper? I can get by with a sort of bigger injectors, supercharger from the junkyard, rebuild it, couple dollars. That's nothing at all. But the main thing that's I'm saving money on is fuel management. So I can get a, you know, rising rate fuel pressure regulator, or I can just go ahead with a FMU. I can get all of those things for less than $100, honestly. If I were to go the supercharger route, I'm gonna have to go into the ECU and get a standalone ECU, because from what I'm reading, these E36s don't do all that great with it doesn't do all that great with fuel management and being altered by a piggyback unit. And to be honest with you, I don't want to sink $2 grand in an engine and be only subpar happy. I'd rather put in less money and be blown away by the outcome. I think down low as far as torque, I'd get a good response from a M62 Eaton supercharger that's been ported out by myself relatively free, as opposed to, you know, spending a couple $100 on the turbo by itself, and that's not including all of the supporting mods for it. But right now, we had a problem before. When you rev it, it would die. That was over $5 grand. No problem at all. It is idling. It is idling like a dream, which I'm really, really happy about. So far, this car is really becoming the apple of my eye, and I think that's another reason why I don't want to rally it, because I want this to be a nice, clean, dailyable car that's a head turner, that's not bam in your face, but it has subtle things that make you say, man, that's a really nice car, and a car that I can hop into, you know, every so often and go and do whatever I want with. See that suspension bounce? Oh man, that gear shifter. That gear shifter, man, I tried to bang it in the third and it would not go. It was like, and I'm like, I'm not about to force something. I don't think that's a transmission problem. I think just the shifter, this whole shifter assembly is probably definitely worn out. But I'm enjoying this car, quite honestly. I really am enjoying this car to the full. So we've talked about suspension that needs some serious work. We're gonna have to look at the bushings and everything. I also looked in the back of the car, and I saw in the back of the car, the limited slip back there is like soaked with oil. So eventually, I'm gonna have to pull out that rear subframe. And it seems like everything that I've checked on the internet, you're not a BMW guy until you pull the rear subframe. That's what it looks like anyway. If I'm wrong, you know, let me know. So I'm gonna have to see what that is, and I wanna know what gearing is back there. Oh Lord, that shake is bad. But I'm going to get to the engine parts of this car soon, but I'm not really rushing to get to those engine parts for the simple fact that every other build I do, I run and tear the engine apart and do everything else like that. This time I actually want to drive the car and have it not sit for, you know, a couple weeks while I build the engine, or a couple, you know, stuff like that. I want to enjoy the car and go step by step, and I'm going to get everything I believe I'm going to need for the supercharger build first before I go ahead and jump headfirst into that. So we talked about the suspension, we talked about engine work. I'm not going to talk about paint and exterior, other than it's got a nice 10-foot kind of paint job. Like if I drove past you, you'd say, man, that BMW is pretty clean. But when you get up on it, you're like, yeah, the BMW's, at least this whole top portion, roof, hood, and all that, that's showing some age. That definitely needs some work to it. So I've got plans for that. I don't want to say it just yet. If any one of you guys are actually good at Photoshop, please, by all means, let me know. I want to run a few things by you because I kind of want to see it first. And if I can see it, then it'd be like a proof of concept. I'd say, yeah, I fully want this. In my head, it would look like this, and I think it'll actually look good as it works. So, really, guys, that's about it. The car runs like a dream. Besides maintenance, seeing why that rear diff is leaking, adjusting the e-brake, because I was on a hill a little while ago and it sure was sliding on through. New brakes, rotors, stuff like that, clean everything up. But for the most part, this is a good project and a good base that we have to build off of. If you guys have any suggestions or any comments or anything like that at all, drop in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys would like to see, stuff like that. And we're definitely gonna have fun with this build altogether. And I really can't wait for us to start plowing into things visually, to suspension, full coilovers, and everything like that, and a couple other small little details that I think will truly set this car off, at least in my head anyway. But that's it for today, guys. It's stumbling now. I just talked the car up and now it's stumbling, but I'm gonna go inside and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.